What up, my peeps? The Ruck is back at you again. Another action figure review courtesy of Hasbro, Marvel Legends, and you see what it is. Long awaited, but finally here. We have got bringing up the rear for the 20th anniversary Toybiz homage retro series, Marvel's Toad. Fourth and final in the lineup of figures that are here to give honor to what started it all 20 years ago, Toybiz, Marvel Legends. Here we are 20 years hence, celebrating. So, as you can see, the packaging right there, you got the Toad, you got all the accessories, you can see that. Looking at that packaging, you see the #1 series right there, paying honor to the Series 1 back in 2002. Up and down the left and right sides, we've got the various logos of the various franchises owned by Marvel and figures that have been made for Marvel Legends since that time. Turning to the back, we've got some more of that that nice artwork right there. We've got of the Toad. That's not artwork. That's actually a render of the figure itself with the backdrop that's included. And you've got the readout, which is the same as it was on all of the 4 figures. So you should already know what it is. And turning it back to the front, that's what we got. So without further ado, let's get this review started. And the very first thing we're going to do is a comparison between the old and the new. So you already saw what we got to deal with for today's version, and we got on our right the original version. You see the Series 1 up at the top upper right of the fig. You see Toad and his lone accessory, which is a very nice one. It is the base that came with Toad, and I should say 2 accessories because behind the base is a comic. Toybiz used to include comics with their figures. Comic that's representative of the figure of the character that they're showcasing, and this is no different. It's a copy of a comic of X-Men #4, which introduced the Toad as well as Magneto and Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Well, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, we already had Magneto before then, but I digress. This is about the Toad. So you can look and you see the vast differences between the 2 figures and how they look, and we will see those differences close up. Here we have them out of packaging, and yes, don't even worry about it. I bought 2, always would, when it came to the card back non-collector free packaging. Got to get 2, one to play and one to display. So here we go. You can see both. Both figures there, and vast differences. Both in appearance, in costume, and definitely in articulation schemes. So on our right, we've got the original Toad. You see that he's carrying a toad or frog with him, and that frog is not removable. It is affixed to his hand, so it's always there. That was always strange to I'm sure not just myself, but many a collector. But you see once again the difference in the costumes. Toybiz, as always, and of course they kicked it off with this series, were known for the washes that they put on their figure, and you can see all along the original Series 1 Toad, the wash along the costume. The similarities you can see between the 2 figures are the flap overs, the boots, and the hands, and to a certain extent the collar. But of course, the collar on the 20th anniversary version is more pronounced than the collar on the original version, and the boots and the wrists are a little bit more pronounced on the original version than on the 20th anniversary version. As far as the face sculpts are concerned, you can see that they look totally different. This version, the original version, that is how the Toad looked back in the day, the 60s, what have you. And sometime in either the 90s or early 2000s, Marvel more or less transformed the Toad into what we see before us today. And as far as his tongue is concerned, well, that was something that Marvel added after the first X-Men movie came out. Marvel was notorious for doing that. I can't lie, I couldn't stand when they would alter their characters to mimic what they were portrayed as in the movies. But it was so, if the movies drew in more readers, they have something recognizable to look forward to and to go by. Whereas, you know, those of us that were reading, you know, Marvel's day ones, were more or less left out in the cold. So, you know, it's happened with Spider-Man, it's happened with the Hulk, etc. Anyhow, as far as the articulation, that's the biggest difference when you think about it. This Toad was severely limited in articulation. Get the arms to go up like that, and they did swivel. You got nothing with the elbows in terms of being able to extend out. You did get a swivel though on the right, and of course on the hands they swiveled, but that was about it. You didn't even get the swivel action on the left arm, so that's all you got. You didn't get anything with the torso. The head only moved, rotated, and that was it. No back and forth, up and down, or anything like that. The legs, you could move them, but you had nothing in terms of bending at the knees. What you got is what you got. And the feet, there were no ankle pivots back then, but you would get swivels. So that would be about the size of it. And I probably changed him up now so he won't stand. So let me see if I can get that corrected a little bit. Looks like that's not going to work. That's the price one pays when trying to show that articulation scheme. But I'm going to have to end up holding him there because he doesn't want to stand now. So, yep, it is what it is. Those are the differences between the old and the new. I just got through mentioning the stand that comes with or came with the original Toad, and we got stands for this, but nowhere near as nice as what we once got. We've got this basically embossed piece of plastic that is our stand. It's got Marvel Legends. You see, there's a slot for an insert. You've got a couple pegs, as you can see right there, and that slot is so it can accommodate this. The insert that comes with the 20th anniversary. This is the same cover as the comic from X-Men 4, which was the cover of the comic that we received with the original Series 1 Toad. And you see it introduces the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And on the flip, you get this little ditty, which is basically an illustration of a swamp that you can have placed behind Toad for a nice little backdrop. But you have to know that that wasn't going to just sit well with me. Toad comes with an additional set of hands. These are open hands. They're basically the Spider-Man wall crawling hands, just colored for the Toad, this light purple color. And it's good because Toad does a lot of crouching himself, so these will work out fine. Toad also comes with a pair of Toads, and they're pretty nice. They're sculpted. They're basically statues, so there's no articulation, but they're painted very nicely. The eyes, you've got detail there. One is brown and one is green. They both have light colored. See if I can get this one up there. Light colored underbellies. So pretty cool. But yeah, so we get a pair of Toads. And we also get an additional head sculpt with Toad. This shows with his tongue, which is an extendable tongue. You know how toads and frogs capture their prey. That's where this was inspired from. In terms of the power set, of course, this is coming right off of the, in the wake of the X-Men's first movie. But there's that tongue, pretty long. It's no bendy wire or anything. It doesn't move or anything. But it's a pretty nice effect. And the rest of the head sculpt looks pretty doggone well. Here we have Toad on our rotating base, getting a 360-degree visual of the character. And first glance, besides the obvious, which we spoke on already about the differences in this appearance versus the original Series 1's appearance, the thing I noticed immediately is, despite this being a Hasbro product, it's got wash on it. Some nice wash, both front and back. So I definitely noticed that. And of course, the most glaring difference is that articulation. This is a fully articulated figure, being that it's 2022 and it's a Hasbro figure. So we get basically just about everything we could want in a figure that we want for articulation, but we'll see all that when we get them off the base. So we've got Toad up close and personal. Of course, that head sculpt is just it's got that sinister, diabolical kind of look, like he's a toady for sure. He looks like he's scheming behind his master's back, or trying to get away with stuff that his master wouldn't know about and whatever. But that's the way he looks, so that's pretty cool. As far as what I was talking about before and the washes, he's got you see the color of his costume, the collar and the gloves and wristbands and the boots and the flap overs, I guess, are this light purple, as well as his crotch area, and his belt is molded in a kind of like a rustic brown color, but the buckle is nicely painted. You see that's like a dark, almost brownish gunmetal gray. Looks very good. I like that. And then of course the rest of him is like this mustard color, but he does come with some two tones there around his lower torso. It's a different color of yellow, mustard, whatever, than the rest. And then of course, like I was saying about the washes, look there along the hips area. You see there's a wash there. The wash continues down the knee area and just below the knee. It's a darker color right there, so that's pretty cool. He's got some down there by his ankles too. And turn around, he's got it there on the back of his legs, as well as his back itself. So pretty cool. We get some wash and we get it front and back, which is, considering we're talking about Hasbro, that's pretty surprising. As far as his articulation goes, he's on a ball hinge, so our Toad can look up that much, look down that much. He can of course rotate, and just the slightest bit of attitude, not much going on there. Arms, he can get up almost to 90. He can do a 360 as far as rotation, but of course the collar is going to impede. He's got bicep swivel. He's got double jointed pinned elbows, and he's got a wrist swivel and horizontal hinge, which repeats on his right side. As far as his torso, he's got an diaphragm crunch that he can move that far forward. Ooh, I'm getting ahead of myself. That far back. He can lean with it and rock with it, and of course go left and right. He also has an ab crunch, so the ab crunch by itself goes forward that much, and it goes back that much, but it can be used in conjunction with that diaphragm joint and you can get his back to go far that much, and forward he can go that much. So it will definitely help and assist when you're trying to get Toad in those crouching poses. He's got drop down legs, so that's cool. Even without the drop down, he can get his legs more than 90, can go back a fair deal. He's got bicep, he's got thigh cut, he's got double jointed pinless knees, so we only got half the pinless treatment. His feet swivel down there by the ankles, and he can point his toe that far forward pretty good, and he can get it up that much also pretty good. He's got the ankle pivot, and you know what time it is. He's got holes, peg holes, the bottom of his feet. Here we have our guy Mortimer, Mr. Toynbee, aka the Toad, on his stand with the X-Men 4 backdrop, sporting his 2 pet toads. And here we have the Toad with the other, the flip side of that insert, showing the swamp as the backdrop, and we've got Toad sporting his extended tongue head sculpt. But as I stated earlier, you know I'm not just going to go for this, right? Not at all. Got to use the base that came with the original Toad, and pretty detailed that base is. As you can see, it's a nice stand for either version, but this version will inherit this base when I get to a point where I have him displayed individually. Of course, initially I'm going to have him displayed with his fellow series mates. And speaking of his series mates, finally, group shot, long last, we got all 4 of them together. We've got, from our left to our right, we've got the 20th anniversary Captain America, the Hulk, and of course Iron Man. So the this anniversary, 20th anniversary Toybiz homage, Series 1 has been completed, and this is what we have here. So you know what it is to sum it all up. Long time coming. Finally got all 4 closed out with the Toad. The Toad himself, totally different look than what we got the very first go around 20 years ago. Definitely an improvement when it comes to articulation, obviously, and just overall look, more modernized look. The additional head sculpt, which he's sporting right here, is just crazy with the tongue, so you gotta love that. We even got some wash with this Toad, which when we're talking about Hasbro is almost unheard of, but not this time. So all in all, pretty good. We got all 4. Happy. I don't think they're going to do any more. This was supposed to be an anniversary and homage to honor Toybiz 20 years ago, kicking off Marvel Legends. And then on top of that, Hasbro's moving away from the plastic packaging. So we're not going to be seeing that style of packaging for much longer. Those days are effectively behind us. So it is what it is. But what it is right now is the end of this review. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Please like, share, subscribe. Definitely do all 3. Trying to grow this channel. Leave comments below. Let me know your questions, your concerns, critiques, whatever. I'm here for it. You want to be notified when I upload another video. Smash that bell. That will happen for you. And yeah, so that's enough of that when it comes to housekeeping. This is the Ruckus humming coming at you. Leaving you with this. Remember, the hunt continues. And I'm out. Peace.